Top 5 news this week, January 12 to 18. Number 5, yung viral video nung physical altercation between a girl in uniform and a security guard sa SM Mega Mall. Marami sa atin ang nabother sa video na to kasi bukod sa pinapalayas nung guard yung batang babae, hinablot at sinira pa niya yung binebentang sampagita. Tapos sinipa pa niya yung bata. Marami sa ating nag-commiserate dun sa batang babae kasi siya yung underdog sa sitwasyon at sinaktan siya physically. May mga nagsabi rin na unawain naman yung guard kasi malamang under pressure lang siya na gawin yung trabaho niya. Now in case you missed it, nag-statement na yung SM Mega Mall. Sabi nila, dinismiss na yung security guard na yon at saka hindi na siya makakapagtrabaho ulit sa kahit anong SM Mall. Nirefute naman ng Mandaluyong City Police yung mga spekulasyon na baka raw miyembro ng sindikato yung bata. Medtech scholar daw siya sa isang private school at saka kaya siya nagbebenta ng sampagita is to augment yung mga pangangailangan niya sa eskwela. 18 years old na raw siya, so hindi na siya minor de edad. Still, nireiterate ng DSWD na labag sa batas ang child labor. Pero hindi ba mas malaking issue yung kung bakit napipilitang magtrabaho ang mga estudyante para lang maipagpatuloy yung pag-aaral nila? Normal na sa ating makakita ng mga yagit na nagtitinda o namamalimos sa kalsada. Dapat bother din tayo dyan, di ba? Number 4, ititigil na raw ng Office of the Vice President ang Medical and Burial Services Assistance kasi wala raw nila ang pondo para doon yung 2025 national budget. Ang nangyari kasi, 733 million pesos lang ang na-approve na budget ng OVP kumpara dun sa 2 billion pesos na ni-request nila. So, nag-statement si VP Sara this week na titigil na raw yung mga serbisyo na yun. Well, in the first place, hindi naman talaga trabaho ng Vice President yon. Remember, hindi nag-cooperate si VP Sara sa budget deliberations ng House tsaka ng Senate or even dun sa investigation ng alleged misuse niya of confidential funds. Part naman ng process na i-explain kung saan niya ginamit yung pera, pero galit na galit siya dun. Number 3, mahigit 4 billion pesos worth na of political ads ang umere sa TV at radyo bago pa man yung filing of candidacies noong October. At halos kalahati doon ay kina Senator Amy Marcos at Las Piñas Congresswoman Camille Villar. Pareho silang tatakbong senador sa Mayo. More than 1 billion pesos worth yung ads each ni Marcos at saka ni Villar na lumabas bago pa man yung filing of certificates of candidacy sa COMELEC noong October. This is according to a report from the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism based on data from Nielsen Ad Intel. Sa February 11 pa kasi officially magsisimula ang campaign period. Nagseset ng definite campaign period ang COMELEC para sana gawing patas ang labanan among candidates. Kaso may loophole yung sistema. Pag hindi pa campaign period, hindi pa empowered yung COMELEC na bilangan yung mga candidates. So as a result, no one really gets punished for premature campaigning. So anong adverse effect nito sa taong bayan? For one, it allows yung mga mapeperang kandidato to dominate the ecosystem. So pwedeng may mga mahuhusay at matitinong kandidato that we never get to hear about because they can't compete dun sa race for exposure. Second, yung gumasta ng malaki, maniningil din ng malaki once nakaupo na sa pwesto. In other words, return on investment for themselves and for their campaign donors. Number 2, the political statement that was the Iglesia ni Cristo National Rally for Peace. Sabi ng website ng INC, nasa 2 million people daw yung umattend sa iba't ibang bahagi ng Pilipinas according to police estimates. 1.5 milyon daw ang umattend dun sa May Quirino Grandstand sa Maynila, tapos 500,000 naman across 12 other places in the Philippines. Ang panalangin daw nila ay ang kapayapaan at pagkakaisa ng bansa. In more specific terms, sinusuportahan daw nila yung pag-oppose ni President Bongbong Marcos sa inihaing impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Or in short, they're against impeaching Vice President Sara Duterte. So bakit importante to? We need to be aware na kahit na minority religion yung INC, especially compared to the Catholic Church, their power lies in the fact that they vote as a bloc. I mean, isn't that the flex in mobilizing 2 million people across the country last Monday? That number is large enough to sway election results. Kaya naman, for the attendance ang re-electionist senators na sina Bato de la Rosa, Bongo at Francis Tolentino, who are all Duterte allies. Before we go to number 1, we invite you to download our app so you can get direct access to all our news stories. Alright, number 1, may expected ng ceasefire between Israel and Hamas to hopefully stop the fighting in Gaza. If all goes according to plan, the ceasefire will take effect on Sunday, January 19. This long-hoped-for ceasefire was mediated by Qatar, Egypt, and the US. Una tong in-announce nung Wednesday, January 15, pero ang dami pang back and forth so we weren't very sure na matutuloy. And then until the last minute, patuloy pa rin ang airstrikes ng Israel sa Gaza. In fact, more than 100 people were killed between Wednesday and Friday. And then itong Friday, mismong office na ni Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yung nagsabi na tuloy na yung ceasefire at magsisimula na yung Hamas na mag-release ng hostages sa Sunday. The plan is, in the first 6 weeks of the ceasefire, magpapakawala ang parehong side ng mga hostages beginning with children, women, and the elderly. Magsisimula na rin ang gradual pull-out ng Israeli troops from Gaza. Alright, that's it for this week. See you again next week.